Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dogs eat! Let them on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God. The Jets killed him.
Well. What a day it's been. NFL trade deadline day. I'm Jeremy Greene. There is no Tank Spencer. He's CP's. He is a CP boy. And frankly, we had business meetings all morning. I've been in a meeting. And then things happened. My phone went nanners, and my phone rings a lot. So I didn't think a lot about, hey, what would you say is happening on the other end of that phone? I never thought about it. And about an hour ago, I looked down, and my NFL football team looks a lot different than they did just a little bit ago. It's trade deadline day. We're keeping an eye on every trade that may or may not happen. Every New York Jet, I believe, is on the board as we sit, and two of them have already been moved. I'm sure you already know this. Sauce Gardner traded to the Indianapolis Colts, 2 first-round picks, and wide receiver A.D. Mitchell. Quinnen Williams traded to the Dallas Cowboys for this year's second-round pick, next year's first-round pick, and Mozzie Smith, who I actually liked coming into the draft. And so now I feel like people are here and they're like, oh my God, Jeremy's going to melt down. Nope, I'm not. I'm not going to melt down at all because I have no problem with this. This is a bad NFL football team, probably the worst one I've ever seen. And now it's way worse than it was just mere hours ago. But here's the thing. They weren't good with these 2 players anyway. Sauce Gardner's a good corner. He's also a corner that's not thrown at all the time. He holds a lot. He's really thin, and he doesn't tackle all that well. Now, he's a great coverage corner, and he will be phenomenal for Lou Anarumo in the Indianapolis Colts. I give this trade an A solidly for Indianapolis. You have to strike while the iron's hot. You got Daniel Jones this past weekend notwithstanding, playing like an MVP. You have a lot of talent on that team, but you really needed that true, honest-to-God number one. And now that's what I feel like you have. I feel like you have the number one corner. You got Kenny Moore playing in the slots. You still got Charvarius Ward that you can play on the other side. This is now a really formidable secondary in Indianapolis. And you gave up 2 picks that are probably going to be in the 20s. That's as good as it gets. And for the New York Jets, I'll give it an A+. Oh, but the dead money. Doesn't matter. Yeah, you've got $1 billion in dead money. You'll pay it all next year. Your roster will be a borderline expansion team for 1 year. And then you know what happens? Then you have 2 first-round picks in this draft. You have 3 first-round picks in the next draft. One of them is going to be number 1 this year. One of them will be in the 20s. Next year, you could have 2 in the top 10, and you're probably going to have another one that ranges somewhere from 18 to 32. And then I asked this question, what happens if Daniel Jones becomes Daniel Jones? What happens next year if the Indianapolis Colts revert back to the mean and they're a really good defensive team that can't score outside of running? And all of a sudden you have 3 picks in the top 15. That's how you rebuild a team. Now, do I believe in Darren Muji's ability to do this? Nah, not a ton. He hit to a point on Armin Mimbu. I like what I've seen out of Mason Taylor. There are a lot of things to like about this if you're a Jets fan. I get it. It's bad to see the guy that you wear his jersey on Sundays traded to another team. Red Sea. This is assuming the Jets actually hit on these picks. Well, and I'm glad you said that. Darren Muji has had 1 draft. So I only have 1 draft to go off of. But let's look at what he did. So you took Armin Mimbu at 8. I think it was at 8. Armin Membu's been one of the best right tackles in the league this year. You took Mason Taylor in the second round. Mason Taylor has looked like he was pick 7, by the way. Mason Taylor's looked like a legit tight end in this league. Hell, he's been the second best receiver for the Jets. You had Azareye'h Thomas, who hasn't played much. He was a developmental corner anyway. It was a guy I liked. Arian Smith, who I absolutely loved coming out of the Senior Bowl last year. Malachi Moore, Francis Malga, Tyler Barron. I think Malachi Moore's a hit. He's played some this year. The New York Jets just did what virtually no team is ever willing to do, and it's we hit the reset button. We told our fan base, we'll see you in 2027. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I knew how bad this roster was 6 weeks ago. I knew how bad this roster was 6 months ago. And I knew this had to happen because the Jets from 1 to 5 were really good, and from 6 to 30, they were terrible. I respect it. Now, the Quinnen Williams move, I like probably less because it's harder to find a real, true defensive tackle interior presence. I will say this as a Jets fan. If you look at the roster, I understand why you would do that. These are players that no one talks about, and I get it. This is not analysis you're going to hear from any other show, I don't believe. The New York Jets had one of the best undrafted free agent classes I've ever seen last year, and they were all defensive linemen. So you're talking about Braden McGregor, you're talking about Eric Watts, you're talking about Leonard Taylor. These are guys that are going to get run now. Do I know that any of these guys are going to be good? No. No, I don't. And Leonard Taylor's not even on the team anymore. He went to New England. But you have an opportunity now with 10 games to go in games that you have no expectation of winning, and frankly, you don't want to win, to figure some of these things out. The Quinnen Williams trade, I'll give the Jets a B+ solely because you did not get a first-round pick this year, which I don't love. Mozzie Smith is a dart throw. Mozzie Smith is going to be the one that replaces Leonard Taylor in the way I'm mentally looking at this. And you'll see what you got. Who knows? A.D. Mitchell was a second-round pick. He was a guy a lot of people liked. Mozzie Smith was a first-round pick. He was a player a lot of people liked. You put him in very different schemes now, and you see what you got. And I'm perfectly fine with that. As Alex Majabi said, it is amazing capital to rebuild this team with. I could not possibly have felt better about the New York Jets than I do right now based off anything that happened. Breece Hall wants to be moved. I feel very sure he's going to get moved in the next 22 minutes. I do not know to who. If I were a betting man, I'd say Kansas City Chiefs third-round pick. If you're Kansas City and you're not willing to come off that, I need you to explain it to me in very graphic detail. I'm good with this. As a Jets fan, I even wore a Jets pullover today just because I knew it was deadline day. And, hey, who knows, maybe Breece Hall gets traded today. I don't want to see Jermaine Johnson moved. But Quinnen Williams, who's already been paid, and Sauce Gardner, I'm perfectly fine. I'm perfectly fine. And now I can – and the timing of this was just immaculate because I have something to announce. We were going to announce it on the show on Thursday, but now we can announce it now. We will be doing a Living the Dream NFL draft style. The Senior Bowl, the Shrine Bowl, the Combine, the NFL draft. I'm very excited about it. That was part of the meeting that we had earlier. There's another very large part that you're going to hear about the next couple of days, but there's some moving pieces around that have to be addressed first. If you like the sound of my voice, you're going to have a whole new way to consume it very shortly. I am excited as a Jets fan in a way that I did not think that I could be going into today. I felt hopeless. Now I'm looking at the future going, if you hit on these draft picks, which I understand is a very tall ask, if you hit on these draft picks, you could crawl yourself out of this cellar in 2 years. And I'm good with that. From the Dallas side, which is the part we have not discussed yet, I don't know what you're doing if you're the Dallas Cowboys. You're giving up draft capital that could be real, real good. You got dump trucked last night by the Arizona Cardinals and then woke up this morning and went, you know what? Let's trade some good picks. Now, Quinnen Williams, Osa Odighizuwa, you add that to what you already have with Donovan Ezeraku, Sam Williams, some other pieces around that line. The defense should have gotten markedly better. You got Logan Wilson this morning. Those are all pieces that I'm fond of. Frankly, I look at the Dallas Cowboys defense now and go, Dante Fowler, Sam Williams, Kenny Clark, Quinnen Williams, Osa Odighizuwa. For the love of God, if you can't stop the run now, maybe it's you. Maybe it's you. So, from the Dallas standpoint, this is probably I'm going to say it's a B because I'm not really sure I understand what you're playing for at 3-5-1. I also think there's a great possibility that you just gave up a top 45 pick for Quinnen Williams and you still owe a first-round pick next year with an offense that I don't know exactly how good it's going to look a year from now. I also know you still have games with Philadelphia, Kansas City, Detroit, Minnesota, the Chargers left on your schedule. And by my estimation, that means there's a better chance of I Heart Asheville making the playoffs than the Dallas Cowboys. But I guess strike while the iron's hot. You go get a really good young player. I give the Cowboys a B. In the YouTube chat, feel free to super chat your favorite questions, anything you want to ask about the deadline. Throw your comments out there. I'll get to as many of them as I can. Chiefs Nation UK said, my cousin's a Jets fan, and he's going full psychopath today. I think a lot of Jet fans are probably going full psychopath right now. Should they? No. Because this makes sense. If you're thinking about this analytically, it makes all the sense in the world. Because you strip this down to the studs, knowing damn well that Sauce Gardner will be probably 30 years old before this team is even good, let alone great. Quinnen Williams will be in his 30s. Chris Oder, Bengals take an F for only getting a 7th for Logan Wilson. That's what most in-season trades look like. I'm not thrilled about it, but he wanted to be traded, and Dallas wanted him. So, now that's a layer of the Dallas defense that I hadn't even talked about. Is that you got a really good front seven that should make this team really good defensively. Jerry, I'm going to wager, sitting in his office going, good. Them Cowboys are a lot more interesting than they were this morning. Unfortunately, you'll be a lot less interesting at the NFL draft. So, probably not good, Jura. Red Sea, how much of the game did you watch last night? I watched the second half. I had a golf tournament yesterday, Autism Strong for Autism. Raised a lot of money for a good cause. Very happy about that. Thank you to everybody that came out. Many people that listened to the show came up and said very nice things to me yesterday. And then today we have a yearly meeting that basically sets everything for the rest of the year up. That was today. I do not control what day that is. And I'm not going to lie. Ingles was on the golf tournament, so they went, well, we'll just tie 2 days together and we'll be good. So, apologies that there has not been a show. He asked, is there a show tomorrow? Yes, there will be a show tomorrow. It may be Tank, Chris Womack, and myself. I know I will be in Greenville, South Carolina. I know that is the one thing I know definitively right now. The rest of it is still up in the air. I know that there will be a show that goes on at noon. The question is, how do we get me in it, Tank in it, all of the things. Tank and I have to figure that out in the morning. We will figure it out. We are gamers. We try our best. We also have a game announcement for this Friday. We will be on site for another game in the Live in the Dream tour. Just a lot of stuff happening around here. It's been a wild day. NFL trade deadline is today. We've got 16 minutes left for Breece Hall to find a new place to call home. Adam Schefter just tweeted, A.J. Brown has not been and will not be traded by today's deadline. In other breaking news, water is wet and today is Tuesday. So thank you for telling me that. Brandon Hollum went from everyone keeping their first-round picks, only one trade in the first 24 picks, to no one having their first next year. Randy, you are living the draft nerd dream right now. 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years. Yes, I am. And I'm not going to lie, it gave me a whole lot of reason to get real into the NFL draft real early, which I was already doing anyway. Andreas Pinckney, Bengals get an F+ for that trade and killed the linebacker market. That does happen. And look, I don't think this market was particularly robust. There have been 6 trades today. It's the third most on any deadline day in the last 35 years. But I don't think it was a great market. I mean, nobody knew Sauce Gardner was on the market. I talked to Jet people yesterday that, it was Jermaine Johnson, maybe Breece Hall. And then it got dropped on its head, which, hey, fun times. Quinnen Williams wanted to be with a contender. Unfortunately, I still don't think he's with one. But get those questions into the YouTube chat. Red C asked any guess as to where Kyler Murray gets traded to this offseason. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think there's a chance Kyler Murray plays another game in Arizona this year because they're way better with Jacoby Brissett. And it's not that I didn't think that was a possibility. There's a lot that goes into that. I heard Mark Schlereth this morning giving a really good explanation for why quarterbacks like Jacoby Brissett can come in and improve a team. Kyler Murray's still a talented quarterback. I just think he's one that has to be propped up more and in way more specific of a setting than what people believe. One of the things that's always caught me, being a draft nerd as I am, is that people think it's just all talent. It's not just talent that goes into, are you going to be a successful NFL player? Kyler Murray's height works against him. His work ethic works against him. And then you have I don't think the system fits him all that well. But Jacoby Brissett looked really, really good last night. And I look at Arizona and go, you're not dead yet. Matthew Hoffman. Jeremy, I don't know if I missed it, but do you think the Jets trades are more Muji or Woody Johnson making moves? Because I don't trust Woody Johnson. No, here's what I think happened. And I don't know. I don't know this definitively, but I've been around NFL circles for a long time. I have a lot of friends with NFL teams. I would wager the Jets have been watching the last few weeks, and they've been having some uncomfortable conversations in the room, whether it's Aaron Glenn, Darren Muji, the scouting department, Woody Johnson, whoever it is. I would wager they've had some really uncomfortable conversations of what exactly are we? Are we going to be a running team with Breece Hall? Then why are we talking about trading him? Isaiah Davis looked particularly good at times. You've still got Braylon Allen, who's really young, and running back is a very replaceable asset. If I can get a third-round pick for a running back that I don't have to pay after these first 2 moves, I do it. I would also wager at one point they looked across the landscape and went, these next 2 drafts are stacked. Stacked with NFL football players. And we want more bullets in the gun. I think looking at Armand Mimbu and Mason Taylor, you got to be looking at a guy making the selections here, and you feel reasonably decent at his ability to evaluate players. And you're pretty excited about it. I mean, to me, it's kind of hard not to be. You know, Randy L said I'm living the draft nerd dream. You're kind of right. I feel really good today. Got to find the super chat button if you're wondering why I'm scrolling through here right now. I know there's one in here somewhere. I'm just not real sure where I put it. I can find one in another place because we have our first one of those of the day. Let's see. This one's from Randy L. Why keep Wilson and Hall at this point? Well, Garrett Wilson, you don't give up a 24-year-old receiver for what you're going to get for him. In my estimation, knowing damn well that you're going to go get a quarterback. This, by the way, guaranteed number one pick in the draft is a quarterback, and he is going to the Jets. Who it is? That's a good question. Hall, I could understand. I know there are offers on the table for Breece Hall. I still think there's a pretty decent shot he gets moved within the next 10 minutes. There have been other trades today that we have not discussed yet. First one, I'll go to the one that's already been mentioned, which was Logan Wilson going to the Dallas Cowboys with one of those 7-6 swaps. I'm fine with it. I think it's good for Dallas. I think it's fine for Cincinnati. This team's not good. They've made that very, very clear. They're not good. And giving up very little for Dallas, you give up very little for a player that can probably improve you linebacker-wise. Cincinnati, this is a guy that's probably not in your future. The defense is an absolute abject disaster. You've got a young guy in Demetrius Knight that I know for a fact is who Cincinnati values as the future of their linebacking core. You've still got Oren Burks on the roster. And you got Barrett Carter on the roster. The young kid out of Clemson that fell a couple years ago, and now that's where they're at, is they're looking at this as Demetrius Knight, Barrett Carter, and we're going to need another one. If it's Oren Burks, great. If it's not, so be it. It never feels good as a fan of a team that you had a belief in at some point to see your players get traded off. I also have to reaffirm this this is the 6th year, I believe, that I've said this. In-season NFL trade value is not what you think it is. It is when you can get a stud like Sauce Gardner or Quinnen Williams. It's not when you're talking about a middling player. It's worth a pick swap. That's just how teams evaluate this, because I don't know what I'm getting out of you. I don't have any access to your medical over the last 8 weeks. So if you've got some nagging injury, there's really no way for me to know about it. And I just kind of, it's like buying a car from a buy here, pay here lot. It could run for 100,000 miles. The engine could fall out on the way home. There's just no way for me to know. So I was fine with that from the Cincinnati standpoint. I was fine with it from the Dallas Cowboys standpoint. Other trades that have happened today: Jacoby Myers going to the Jacksonville Jaguars, a 4th and 6th round pick in the 2026 draft, going from Jacksonville to the Raiders. To me, that's the definition of a deadline deal. Jacksonville still believes they are a playoff team, and I kind of agree with them, and I kind of don't. They're right on the line. The AFC is bad. And if we have a shot at this, let's take it. Travis Hunter will be back in 3 to 4 weeks, and now I've got BTJ, I've got Jacoby Myers, and I got Travis Hunter. If Trevor Lawrence can't make it work with that, then we need to have bigger conversations about Trevor Lawrence. From the Las Vegas standpoint, you had a receiver that wanted out of the building, and you got him out of the building. So for the Raiders, I'll say that was a solid B. Jacksonville, I'll give an A- solely because you had 13 picks in the next draft. You never want that many selections because that's a ton of rookies. And you treated them as ancillary income. So you went and got a player that can help you right now. And I'm here for it. Jacoby Myers to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Colin in our YouTube chat. Jeremy, I lost my friend Shaheed today. I'm not well. He's going to feast in Seattle with Sam Darnold. I do believe this is a great time to say, do you remember all those things I said about Sam Darnold? Wasn't Kevin O'Connell, was it? It's just, that's not who did it. Maybe Sam Darnold's just good at football. And now he has Jackson Smith and Jigba. He has Rashid Shaheed over the top, and he's got Torrey Horton, who's coming on every single week. Oh, by the way, he's still got Elijah Arroyo, Zach Charbonnet, and Kenny Walker in the backfield with a line that's pretty good and a defense that flies all over the place. Right now, the Seattle Seahawks are the best team in the NFC to me. I don't even know that it's debatable at this point because the only teams really up there with him would be Detroit, who I've seen have two really clunky games. One last week against Minnesota, one to start the year against Green Bay. And Philadelphia, that's just, they are a clunky football team. That's how they've looked for the better part of 10 years because your quarterback's not all that good. And I look at Seattle and just, weird. I said it was the best signing in free agency. I wasn't wrong. I said Sam Darnold was a top 10 quarterback. I wasn't wrong. I said Sam Darnold wasn't a bust 7 years ago. I wasn't wrong. Sam Darnold's always been a talent. And good for Seattle noticing it. Sander, there are other teams at the top of the NFC. That was the top two. And I'm talking about from a record standpoint. I'm not going through every team in the NFC. But, yes, the Rams are good as well. A trade that I'm going to give the amount of time it deserves. The Chicago Bears added Joe Tryon-Shoyinka from the Cleveland Browns. Bears send a 26th, 6th-round pick for Shoyinka and a 2026 7th-round pick, and that is all we need to say about that. He's just not good. He's not good. Yay. You got a player. Awesome. Checking the old Twitter again to see if we have any updates on anything. We're 4 minutes short. Still no Breece Hall deal, which is surprising to me. As soon as I saw Sauce and Quinnen Williams traded, I went, well, there goes Breece. That's going to be the end of him today. Pissed off Browns fans. Is there a possibility the Jets hit on all these first-round picks like before, still end up trading them in the next 5 years? Well, yeah, because they didn't really do anything else right. And you still didn't have a quarterback. I mean, it all falls back to quarterback. It's just not – it's an interesting time to be a Jets fan. I have decided to dive into deep into the pool to the NFL draft, and there's going to be a lot of that in the next few days. Notorious B.I.G. said if Breece doesn't get traded, it's going to be real awkward in the building. You ain't lying. One of those like, so do we even need to try to re-sign you, or can we just assume that that we know that you're going to leave at the end of the year? You run out of time. Pitwinkle, what's your take on the Bills not doing anything at the deadline and the fans complaining when they get put out in the playoffs? I'm not necessarily committed to teams. Like, I don't think just because you're a contender, you have to try to fix things through the trade market. Would I like them to have added another piece on defense? Sure. Am I upset that they didn't? Not really. Because, I mean, you got to look at the cap ledger for Buffalo of we're just renting this guy. This team's already gotten expensive, so we need every single one of these picks that we can get. I'm not upset by it. I think fans short for fanatic, and we call fans fanatics for a reason, because they think everything is like playing Madden. It's not quite that simple. You don't just have to find a guy that can come in and fix a problem. You have to find a guy that can fix a problem, and he has to work in your salary cap structure, and he has to work with your roster. All of those things can be somewhat problematic, especially if you get the wrong guy. So I'm fine with Buffalo. I'm fine with where they are. I'm fine with what they're doing. I don't think the trade market is necessarily the end all be all for every problem you could possibly have, and so I'm fine with it. Alex Majabi pretty happy his Chargers didn't make a move. Oh. And just as he said that, they did. Right as he said the Chargers haven't made a move, they did. Trevor Penning to the Los Angeles Chargers. Oh, I need a sound effect for trades because I have a feeling that's not the last one. Let's see. Trevor Penning to the Los Angeles Chargers. I don't mind that at all. The Chargers' offensive line is poopy, especially now with no Joe Alt. The question is, does Penning play tackle or guard? Because he's played both in New Orleans. I will wait to see what the compensation is on that before I render full judgment. But the New Orleans Saints, now like the New York Jets, have made 2 moves in one day. Trevor Penning has not been particularly good, so that should tell you a lot. Don't have anything on the compensation yet. Got to update. You just got to sit here and keep hitting refresh on Twitter. Hey, could you tell me what they got Trevor Penning for? Nope. If anybody gets that compensation, please let me know. Majabi said he's literally as bad as our backups. I don't disagree with you. But he was a first-round pick one time. And if today has taught us anything, those guys still hold value because somewhere there's a scout going, I can fix him. NFL teams are a lot like drunk girls at a bar. They see an attractive guy and go, I can fix him. He has a bloody knife in his hand and blood all over his clothes. I don't care. I can fix him. He's fine. Breece Hall is still a Jet as of right now. We may not be done. Always remember with the trade deadline, sometimes you got last minute, just get it in there. Alex Majabi said he jinxed his team, so he's going for a walk. Look, I've been there. I've said things and then gone, oh, shoot, why did I say that? I should not have done that. DraftKings, breaking news, New England is not trading Drake May. No kidding. It's been a wild, wild day in the NFL. The trade deadline has officially come and gone. We may have more moves. Can't officially say that anybody hasn't been moved until the league comes out with the final declaration of deals, which I should be getting within the hour. Crazy day. Quinnen Williams traded to the Dallas Cowboys. Sauce Gardner traded to the Indianapolis Colts. I feel like tomorrow we almost need to do a power rankings Wednesday of teams for the rest of the year and just leave the Jets out of it. Whew, God, now it's a team that's bad defensively, bad offensively, and they have a running back that everybody in the world knows that they auctioned off to the highest bidder and nobody gave them what they wanted. I would kill to be a fly on the wall at one Jet drive right now. Place I've been to a few times in my life. I will say the vibe around that place is probably a little awkward. Andreas Pinckney, great Saints fan. Penning did get screwed by coaching with the Saints. I think a good offensive line coach can salvage him. He's a better tackle than a guard, though. I would agree with that. He was one of those that kind of fell into that Will Campbell thing of you're so damn tall that it's really hard for you to get low enough to play guard. That's one of those things that a better tactician of offensive linemen could explain that better than me. But just because you're a decent tackle doesn't mean we can slide you into guard and all of a sudden you get better. This is not like playing Madden. Madden, you can have 5 tackles. Can you play guard? Well, you're gonna. Doesn't quite work that way in the NFL. Randy L. said, Sauce Gardner traded, Breece Hall not. Did not have that on my bingo card. I didn't either. And I will tell you, if I have Breece Hall in fantasy football, I am scared to death that he's about to have one of those hamstrings. Oh, I can't walk. I got to go sit on the bench in street clothes until I sign with the Kansas City Chiefs in the offseason. Although I will say that I did not want to trade Breece Hall because I'm afraid of how bad the offense would be without him. And adding A.D. Mitchell and adding John Mechie, I'm not telling you those are great receivers. They're light years better than what they had. And now you add that to Garrett with Mason Taylor, Arian Smith. Hey, we might actually be able to convert more than 4 first downs through the air in a given week. Stone Sports Podcast said Dolphins not trading anybody is wild to me. I mean, they traded Jalen Phillips yesterday. Bradley Chubb, they tried. Just didn't get what they wanted for him. I'm still waiting on the declaration that trades are done. Dolphins did get calls on Chubb and Waddle from Adam Schefter. Managed to hold on to both. I mean, and look, I get that. I do. You know, Champ Kelly, the interim GM of the Dolphins, is a friend and somebody that I respect quite highly. Those are guys that are signed for next year. So, especially with Jalen Waddle, he could be the best piece on that offense next year. So not moving him for a pick, I get. Bradley Chubb, I get that one less. But Chop Robinson has not been as good this year. And you don't want a team that's just an absolute grumper. Those teams are hard to evaluate everything. And having all of these moving pieces, it is difficult. The Jets are about to find that out. Trust me, that defense is going to go from, that's not bad, to holy Lord, you are bad. It is starting to appear that we do not have any more deals, and that's fine. It means we will have made it through an NFL trade deadline and only had the casualty of the 2025 New York Jets. Everything else made pretty good sense. And to me, the Jets moves made sense. Randy L., got to be a lot of dead cap on that Sauce contract, though, right? I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know the answer to that. I can find it out, but I'm going to assume there's a good amount. It probably prorates over 2 years. It's not bad. $11 million in 26, $8.1 million in 2025. Due to the structure of Sauce's extension. God, that makes it even better. Lord, I thought they got 2 first-round picks because they had to eat $70 million. But I'm pretty good about that. That's solid. The Jets structured Gardner's extension with a minimal signing bonus and a future option to minimize immediate dead cap upon a potential trade. That's good. That's real good. Garrett Wilson's got to be looking around going, I hate it here so much. I would like to be anywhere else. Andreas Pinckney, any update on the Penny compensation? I haven't seen it yet. Let me see if I can find it. I'm not seeing anything that has that yet. I don't see anything that has it yet. If anybody finds out, just let me know in the chat. Breece Hall's got to be looking around going, how in the world am I still here? Now, here's the thing. Just because you want to be traded doesn't mean you will be. I wanted the Spice Girls to come to my birthday party. They didn't want to. And Randy L. just said it. I won't be shocked if they extend him. I won't be shocked at all if the New York Jets draft a quarterback and they go, you know what? It wouldn't be terrible to have a running back that's really, really good. Let's extend him for 3 years at above market money, and all of a sudden he'll be just fine. Pitwinkle said the NHL trade deadline's better. Well, it might be. The only problem is about 97% of us don't have a damn clue who any of those guys are. Oh, this guy with 14 consonants in his last name just got traded. Sweet. Is that good or bad? And how do you pronounce that? And what the hell is a defenseman? Does that mean he can't shoot? Oh, no, it just means he plays back where the goalie is. I know a little bit about hockey. I just don't know who any of the players are. Except Sidney Crosby and what's that other kid? Connor McDonald or McDavid. Randy L., a lot of times these heavily rumored non-trades end that way. That's how you bring him back to the locker room without the awkwardness. It's true. A lot of times a guy that gets floated, they're like, well, we're here now, and we're only going to get a 4 for him if he leaves. That 4 is a year from now. So let's show you the, oh, no, we loved you all along. Red C's a little sad that his team didn't make a move in the Arizona Cardinals, but I get why Monty didn't want to invest into a 3-5 team. I do too. I always thought that was going to be the hard part about this deadline was finding teams that thought they were dead in the water. There just weren't many of them out there. So it is conducive to just stand pat. I'm going to roll for about 4 more minutes. I have to go activate some things in the back from meetings today. We will have a show at noon tomorrow. It may be Chris Womack, Tank, and myself. I can guarantee it will be Tank and myself. We will be on YouTube. I am leaving a camera here when I head to Greenville, South Carolina tonight. And then we will be making some huge announcements in the coming days. Probably have one for Friday and hopefully one sometime next week. Matthew Hoffman said Breece Hall's tweeting like crazy. Yeah, probably. It's probably just a picture of that kid from Big Daddy saying that thing I can't say because I'm in a radio studio and you never know. I can see that it's not going out, but you never know for sure. Putting in work with Bill Workman said, what are you doing in Greenville tonight? I will be in late, but I will be around all day tomorrow and possibly Wednesday night. I'm not sure yet. Things happened very quickly today, so I'm having to plan everything on the fly. I did want to get in here and do this live for you guys. You guys are so awesome in supporting everything we do. I apologize that we haven't had radio shows the last couple days. Just things, the golf tournament was an important thing to me. It's for Autism Strong. It's an autism charity here in Asheville, and I wanted to give it as much effort as I could. Obviously, doing that, I could not do a show because it teed off at 11 o'clock on Monday. And then today with the business of the show. So apologies. The good thing about all of this is we will be missing way less shows now. You can take from that what you would like to. I can't specifically say it, but if you deduce it, you could probably figure it out. Let's see. Oh, there is the official call. Field Yates. With the trade deadline now past us, any player that is released by his team is now subject to the NFL's waiver system. Previously, it was just players with less than 4 accrued seasons. That means, boys and girls, we have no more deals because Field gets the same thing I did. So for him to say the deadline's passed, that we're done and no more trades means he's probably gotten the official notification from the NFL that there are no more moves coming. So that's a trade deadline. That's a day, and what a day. New York Jets, I think you're winners. I know a lot of people probably don't agree with that, but I do. Dallas Cowboys, you got a very good defensive tackle. I think you'll love him. He's one of my favorite Jets of all time. Indianapolis Colts, you got a very good corner. He's one of my favorite corners the Jets have ever had. They just didn't fit into the timeline of Jets competition. Everything else, you got a Band-Aid. You got a Band-Aid to put on your boo-boos, and hopefully your boo-boos are not enough to keep you out of the playoffs. So it's a good day. It's a good day for a Jets fan. It's a good day for Dallas Cowboy fans. It's a good day for a lot of fans. Tomorrow we're going to talk football. We got a lot to catch up on. Tank will be here in the Ingles studio, possibly with Chris Womack. I will be live from our iHeart Studios in Greenville, South Carolina. In my swanky high-rise office that it's pretty comfortable. Got a little decorating to do. But it's been a fun day. Fun day with trades. Glad I could hop on here, talk about the moves for a few minutes. Thank you for everybody on no notice who jumped in. We appreciate you. For Tank Spencer, who is not here, I'm Jeremy Greene. This is the Sportsocracy. This has been our trade deadline special, talking about the moves that happen around the NFL trade deadline. We will be back at noon Eastern time tomorrow with our very standard Power Rankings Wednesday of how we should feel about every NFL team after the trade deadline as we make the push for the playoffs. I'm Jeremy Greene, and we will see you